Today it is Sunday, the 30th of August 2020. I thought a lot about two things the last week. One of them is sort of the feedback part of both our online community and feedback within a possible organization and how we get that rolling fluently so that it's sort of the backbone of everything you do. But how do you actually get people online to trust the feedback given to them by, at least in the beginning, anonymous people that they haven't met or heard from before? And I think the other part is, okay, how do you actually build a community? And I think it's interesting to look at, okay, how do you, first of all, get people in? How do you get people to stay? And how do you increase the quality of the group of people that you already have in your community? Because some online communities restrict the number of members that they have in a hope to keep the quality up. But I'm not sure if that's sort of the route I want to go. If the goal of a community is to keep expanding and keep at least not being a zero sum, but actually, hopefully, affect the most amount of people, the community has to be open. And then you really have, in my mind, the hard question: how do you get the people that gives the most of themselves to stay? What are their incentives to keep giving of their knowledge or their feedback or their thoughts? Because it will always be easier to go to a website, post something, expect to perhaps get something in return, and if you don't get it, you turn around in the door and never come back. But the type of users that at least I envision in my mind will be the critical mass in my community, or the community that I hope to one day be able to build, is the people that keeps on giving, that enjoys giving. And perhaps in a perfect world I'd like to even be able to measure the amount of, I call them takers, people that comes in, post something and expects to get something in return. They take the response without even having in their mind that they will give something back in time. How can we measure those users and the exact time that they decided to become a giver? Because hopefully they then saw that the community have given them a lot. Maybe they feel that they can give something back themselves. And to see that sort of transition in a user's mind would be extremely interesting to see, and also I think quite satisfying to see. So again, this week has been a lot of thinking. And I think one of the things that I'm starting to realize is that I want to do a lot of thinking to perhaps avoid doing stuff over and over. But that only affects me. And at some point in time, we will need to be more people driving this community, both on the technical side, but also from the user perspectives. How do you keep users engaged? What type of people do we need in order to get a first quite raw draft out there? Can I do it myself? Maybe. Will I need help? Maybe. In time, will I need help? Of course. Finding those people. How do you find people that perhaps you don't even know? How do you find the first people to be aware of diversity from day one? I mean, I wish that the next person that I get on board with my ID and this community would at least be a woman. I'm a black male. No, I'm whatever. I'm a white male. Maybe the first person that I should look for should be a black woman. Both to be able to exchange ideas, because I think that will be one of the outliers, and I don't know how that person will feel in an online community or in their community below. So I think first of all I will learn a lot about the world from them as a person, and hopefully they of course will have the skills that I don't have as well, so it's easy to bounce back and forth ideas and reflections and where we should go and where we should move next. In these days, do we need an office? Maybe not. But how do you find people across the world that will even open a cold case mail from me? Do I need to make my brand more aware out there before I start doing those calls? Maybe that's where I need to start to grow my team. I think after this week I just have a lot more questions that perhaps I had 1 week ago. But for each question it also feels a little bit more intriguing to actually start doing this, at least when you find an answer to those questions.